Hello, I'm Linda Sandu. I'm here with Ann Grammer, and this is What's Happening. Hi, Ann.
Hello, Linda.
Welcome to our show. Ann is the costume curator, a volunteer at the Historical Society of Old Yarmouth.
Correct.
Tell me a little bit about how you got that position there.
One Sunday, I had just moved here to Yarmouthport. I had nothing to do in the afternoon. I stopped by at the Historical Society, and it happened to be a new members' tea.
Oh.
The director, Barbara Ryan, approached me after we exchanged some niceties and asked me what my background is. And so I told her that I was educated in costumes at the theater in Hamburg and Munich, Germany. And then she asked me, would you like to work with the costumes, which was at first in a very small room. And the boxes in which the costumes are kept, acid-free boxes with acid-free tissue paper. Mm-hmm. They grew all the way up to the ceiling, and I said to her, you know, something has to give. Either I have to leave or we have to find a better room. And so then it was decided to refurbish the attic. And that is now my abode. It is my workshop. I live with my gents and ladies up there.
Aww.
And about every 3-4 years, I plan a show.
And you have planned one.
And this time, it is a very special, important show because of the extent of it. Mm-hmm. You will see 25 extraordinary vintage wedding gowns.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You have educated me a little bit about it. First off, let's talk about the show runs. It actually has 2 runnings. It runs September 5th through the 8th, and then the 12th through the 15th.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's 2 weeks, 4 days each.
At the Bang Hallett.
And the Kelly Chapel.
Perfect, in Yarmouthport.
And
we've got the information running below, so
right.
people can check that out.
Yes.
I've got a beautiful poster here that I'm going to hold up. And more importantly, I want you to give people a teaser of what they're going to see, because these costumes are phenomenal.
Yes. What I brought today is a so-called flapper dress of the 20s.
Beautiful.
And it is of silk, a quality that is very hard to find anymore, and very excessive lace. The gown is interesting insofar, not only because of the stand-up collar, but it has a small cage on each hip worked on the inside. So when you move, you have the feeling it is an 18th century gown moving.
Oh, wonderful.
Very, very teasing, kind of erotic way of moving.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And gowns were not just gowns, but they served a purpose. They expressed their times and the culture in which they were worn.
That's wonderful. Now for the Vintage Bridal Dreams, the show that you're doing at the Historical Society, talk a little bit about the ticket, because that's a very unique way of doing it, and it pulls in the period.
And rather than selling the usual small tickets, we have designed a fan, which is not only a practical use for humid and warm weather, but fans were used to flirt primarily. So if it was open, or if it was closed suddenly, that was definitely a rejection. The fan is one of those lovely feminine items that sort of survived throughout the centuries.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And I like on your poster that you've included Downton Abbey into luring people in, because that has opened up a whole nother world of
Yes.
people, hasn't it?
Yes.
I love it. I'm a big fan of it. But it also makes you so curious about their wardrobe and what's happening. One thing that you have here that I want you to explain is the headdress, and
Yes.
and that was very popular in the show.
Yes. So if you wore a flapper dress, you either had a lace, in this case lace and velvet flapper hat, with or without a veil. The other more delicate version is,
Do you want me to hand it?
yes please, is
That's beautiful.
a beautifully tulle crisscrossed cover with a very beautiful veil, and the veil is made out of cotton, which are the more
interesting.
expensive veils, whereas once synthetic fabrics were discovered, tulle was made out of synthetic material.
Wonderful.
But the more valuable ones with the better glow, the better fall, more graceful, more elegant, I think, were made from cotton.
Oh, wonderful. I did not know that.
Now, if you were very wealthy, you had, of course, a lace veil.
Uh-huh.
A lace veil of the 19th century, if it comes up for auction, is about $10,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Talk a little bit about where you got the wedding dresses that are going to be on display.
Well, most of them were owned by the society.
Mm-hmm.
Some extraordinary gowns are for this show on loan. And 3 gowns I purchased.
Wow.
And I purchased them at Vintage and Vogue in Orleans. There's a very lovely woman, and they are extraordinary, the 2 gowns. I also purchased one at Plush and Plunder on Main Street in Hyannis.
That's right.
And so it's a nice reflection of what the society has collected and what I have tried to add, and my appeal to the locals. Would you lend us your gown
I think that's great.
for the show?
And they're so lucky to have you on board with them and doing this show. You're a wealth of knowledge. I hope you're going to be at the show every hour that it's open.
I give a lecture
Good.
every day at 2 o'clock,
Wonderful. Wonderful.
and that lecture will be at Kelly Chapel.
Okay. And you're usually available to the Historical Society? I have a
Yeah.
feeling there's going to be lots of questions and a
If
lot of
he-
curiosity.
If people like to contact us, they can leave a message. I think there are 2 phone numbers on the poster.
And we're running those below, so that'll be great.
Thank you. And also, I'm hoping, of course, very much, and I'm appealing to the community at large, that we may receive further donations.
Wonderful.
I
hope
can
so too.
assure everybody that they are well looked after.
That's wonderful. Anne, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure meeting
Thank you.
I can't wait to see the show and to have you more often. You're so interesting.
And I like to thank you on behalf of the society that you were gracious enough to have us.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank
I'm
you.
Linda Sandu, and that's what's happening.